Hey guys, it's Captain Trucker here in the Philippines, and please subscribe if you want, or you don't have to. So I wanted to talk about for some expats who've never been out to this country regarding finances specifically. Um, there is a kind of a mentality of some people who want to retire here to the Philippines from the West, like America, Europeans. And some people seem to think they can maybe live like kings off social security or 12 or 1500 US dollars a month. And it's really not the case. I mean, to live like a king, yeah, you can, for $1500 you can be comfortable for sure and not have to stress too much. The consumer prices out here in the Philippines are relatively inexpensive. Yes, food is less expensive. Um, but it's like with anywhere, guys, you sort of pay for what you get in terms of quality. All right. So you know, you just got to gauge your expectations, because you got to remember, if you're a foreigner, especially if you're like a retiree, like in your 60s, 70s, and you're not married or something, and you're coming out here for the first time, you're not going to be able to own property legally. You can't own land, you can't own property unless you're married. Even there, it's kind of a little bit, it's got to be done a certain way. So, yeah, if you're a man who's not married, you can buy a condo unit, like in a city like Manila or Cebu City. And condos kind of range in price. I'll try to put stuff up on the screen, but yeah, for people that think they're going to be living like a king out here, uh, you got to really gauge those expectations, guys, because those guys sort of run into issues because, well, it's just not the case. So, what I wanted to say about quality of life and all that, I mean, these things are all relative. I mean, if your intention as a young or older person to move to Southeast Asia, Philippines, Indonesia, Cambodia, Thailand, if your intention is just to save money, I would say don't do it, because you'll probably be disappointed, all right? Because the quality of materials here are different, obviously, and all that. I mean, food's good. The food prices are really good, you know. But what happens to a lot of these Westerners with those type of mentalities is they end up living in places like maybe Makati and Manila, and they'll rent or buy an expensive condominium, and they sort of hang out with other foreigners, and they go to expensive restaurants, and they get hooked up in the bar scene. So now they're, dating maybe certain types of Filipinas that are too interested in their 65-year-old good looks, so to speak. If you know what I mean. What I would advise is guys just, come out here for the first time and explore smaller provinces and cities, and maybe try to get to know people at a local church, stuff like that, or just people in the community. It's pretty easy to meet people here. So for sure, obviously you want to visit a place before you commit to moving there. That's for sure. And yeah, like another YouTuber said, you want a pile of cash too if you're older. Emergencies do happen, so a foreigner in his 60s, he should have at least $40,000 just cash that he can access. But yeah, man, don't think that you're gonna live in any country like a king for 1,500 US dollars a month. Because what happens is those type of guys, they end up complaining about the infrastructure, they end up complaining about the culture, they end up complaining about bureaucracy. And I got to admit, it really it kind of irritates me when I hear foreigners complaining about a country that they're foreigners in. Because I don't know if I have to like remind you guys or us people, but we're visitors in this country. So you can throw around as many dollars as you want, but it doesn't really change the fact that you're a foreigner, okay? Imagine like a Mexican or a South American going to America and complaining about the prices, complaining about the government, complaining about the culture. Can you imagine what the reaction would be? But yet, like when a Westerner comes over here and does that, I don't know, they just feel totally entitled to do it, which I kind of amuses me, I admit. But I try to laugh about it and not get irritated by it. But I mean, I met a guy the other day, nice older gentleman, British guy, and he's like, um, we were just talking really quick, and he was complaining about the bureaucracy because it took too long to get his visa. There was some kind of clerical error, and he had to pay a lawyer to change it. And I asked him how much the fee was, and he said like 1,000 pesos, which is like about $20 US. I mean, where else in the world can you get a lawyer to do anything for $20? And yet the man's gonna complain. It's not a first world country, guys. I mean, even like with a top dollar, you pay for a top condominium, you pay for a top apartment, you're still gonna have brownouts. It's not the same quality of materials. I'm not a big like housing guy, so I don't know much about materials, but I do know the quality is not the same. Like I'm building a house probably soon for maybe like $25,000 cash, But I'm not expecting like, travertine tiles and stucco walls and perfect insulation and so forth. I mean, there's going to be cracks in the walls. You're going to get cracks in the foundations. You're going to get lizards in the house and geckos sometimes, and that's just the way it goes for that price, right? And keep in mind, this isn't going to be like some big mansion. It's going to be the design is nice, like the actual design of the house. I'll put it up on the screen for you. Or one of the ones I'm thinking about building. Kind of not in too big of a hurry to do that, but yeah, guys, it's like the quality's not the same. Look, if you want to move to Southeast Asia, my point of this video is don't do it simply if you're trying to save money or you want to retire in a place where that you're doing it just to save money, because you're going to be disappointed, I promise you. But yeah, I mean, like there's nice stuff here. I mean, like it's just not perfect, you know what I mean? It's not the same as like Western standards. It's not the same as America or England or Germany or Switzerland or Australia. It's not going to have that same quality for the price, and it makes sense, right? I wish I could give more specific examples. It's just like the little things, you know what I mean? What's this? Yeah, it's just the little things. I wish I could be more specific. But yeah, infrastructure's not the same, guys. The roads aren't the same. There's plenty of potholes. Things just move slower in these countries, and that's just the way it is. It's not like super fast industrial type of country. They're not like 8 to 5, wake up at 5 a.m., competitive, bloodthirsty to make money type of thing. It's not like that here. It's island life. It's very laid back. Things get done when they get done. So, don't just throw a couple dollars around and expect people to cater around you. or to somehow the bureaucracy of the government to move fast just because you're a foreigner, because it's BS. Again, guys, come out here for the culture experience because you want to appreciate a different style and mentality of life. Find a good Filipino that you love, help out some families, help out the local church. Be like a good man in the community. Don't be the foreigner that comes here and just complains and, I mean, what are you doing? You know what I mean? I mean, go to Alabama and just buy a trailer with your retiree money and go live on a land in your trailer or something, you know what I mean? I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I say that to young people too. It's like, if you're middle class in America as a working person, don't expect just because the dollar transfer is good that you're royalty here, because you're not, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, that's about it, guys. I'll try to get more later. I don't know why I wanted to say that, but please subscribe and take care, guys. Bye bye.